And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show. And this is going to be episode 488. So I hope you guys have a great day. And I hope you guys have a great weekend that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the MSK show, we have no topics for you guys tonight for this episode of the MSK show because, well, we're just going to be two hot, rich, good looking dudes just shooting the shit. Am I right?
Indeed.
Hell yeah. So, I know you guys are probably wondering, why the hell are you awake at this time of the night? Well, actually, it's 8:46 for me on the West Coast, and it's like 12:47 for J Heat. I think Blaze.
11:47. It's a 3-hour difference. You weren't too far off.
No, you're Central, right?
I'm Eastern. EST.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I got you. Okay. So
You're thinking of Central Time. You good?
Yeah. So we usually would be doing this show with Jared, but as you guys know, a lot of people, have left me. They left me just like my dad. They're just gone. No, okay, I'm joking, guys. Essentially, Jared had a change of working shift, and he can only be on Mondays now.
I remember my night shift days. Those were a nightmare.
Good Lord. I've always been kind of mostly just a morning shift guy and a midday shift guy. Closing's not that bad. It's just like it
Depends.
yeah, I guess like holidays kind of makes it bad. Like if you're closing on holidays, I guess like that kind of sucks actually because I've never like fully closed on any holidays though. And what's coming up crazy is with the job that I have right now. It's probably gonna be most of my shift moving forward is closing 3 days out of the week now. But as you guys know, because you guys have asked what's happened with the other job that I got hired for. So literally before the show, I went there essentially because I hadn't heard anything back because she had said, wait 2 weeks back for the background check. 2 weeks go by as of like a few days ago. And then I messaged one of the guys that I know that works there because we used to, play, trading cards and stuff like that, like, well, Yu-Gi-Oh, obviously. And I know he sells like Pokemon cards too. And I asked him, was like, hey, if this happens, am I getting hired? And he was like, I'm pretty sure that's the usual next step, right? So it turns out, basically, long story short, the person who was overviewing the background check thought my social security number looked funny, even though I wrote it out perfectly fine. She said it was an older guy who needs like reading glasses, so he couldn't like make out the last 4 digits. So I had to go and confirm it with her, and she basically said, you should hear back from me in a week, hopefully sooner. So this second job that I got hired for should be coming through very, very soon. And I know Michael asked like in the chat, would that change your streaming schedule? I be honest with you guys, I literally don't know. I literally don't know. I'm gonna have to see what the schedules look like to even cross that bridge actually. But as you guys know, if me and J Heat Blaze did a fusion dance like Goku and Vegeta did in Dragon Ball Z, whoa, what will we be? Would we be a J Heat MSK, right? Or a Blaze MSK or an MSK J Heat? See?
Blaze King. Blaze
Woo!
King.
There you go. So, yeah, life's going pretty all right. I buy collected editions. I buy my pull list every 2 weeks. I read comics. I don't know. What else is there more to do in life besides working and coming home and just doing stuff? You guys are probably gonna ask, like, what's happening to my background? I cleaned my entire house and I'm putting it back together now, literally as we speak. So after this is over, I'm literally gonna go and pretty much finish up what I need to do actually. So I know you guys see like me, playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I might not do that. It literally just depends on how tired I am and how I feel literally after this show is over. I also kind of have to get the shows in where I fit in because, coming up in like the next few weeks to a few months, I don't know when I'm going to be able to do the show outside of just pretty much Mondays and Saturdays consistently. So, for me, dude, like I like to have the show pretty much like as often as I can. Might be going down to only having the show like at most 3 times a week, which is fine because most people can only do their podcast like once a week, actually,
Still a pretty good setup, all things considered.
Right. So when all things are said and done, most likely we would have this show at the very minimum 3 times a week. And I think that's fine.
Yeah, that's great setup.
Yeah, because as you guys know, if I have a show once a week, I don't know if I could live with all the stupid out there because I have to be able to vent my frustrations on idiots, and I do that by using this show because
And
people
thinking
are mad.
and considering stupid. Speaking of stupid, first of all, we got some DCU news.
Is it good
Let's just talk
news
about some.
or bad news or terrible news?
It just depends on how you look at it. We all know more than likely the government and regulation is going to approve the Paramount takeover. There's no one's refuting that at this
Right?
point.
Yeah.
But as for James Gunn and what he's been saying on social media, dude, just get off the phone, get off social media. The more you talk, the worse you're going to make it sound. You're just making it worse for yourself.
Do you know what's worse? I know. I don't know if you're on social media for the most
Yeah,
part. Do you
I pay
remember?
attention where I can. I pay attention when I can.
I think he wrote the most unintentional, funniest thing I think he's ever written. Where I know I have I have it bookmarked here because we did a podcast episode about it with Jared and Bob
And
and
yeah, about 2 weeks ago, 3
oh
weeks
my
ago, give or
god,
take.
it's so funny. And I usually don't laugh at this stuff because it's usually not funny. Like intentionally, people go, "Why don't you laugh?" I don't laugh because it's not funny. But this is so unintentionally funny. I have to laugh at it because I'm sitting there thinking to myself, "There's no way this is real. This is satire. This is one would think this is satire, guys.
Oh
I'm
no,
not
I
kidding
think I
you,
know what you're talking about because I thought that was a parody post for a second. Like this had to have come
right?
from a parody account.
You would think like this is coming from a parody account, right? Because this sounds fucking like I'm not trying to be that guy, but this legitimately sounds retarded because the way that he spoke, it was like, dude, do you even know what's going on in your own universe? Like, do you even know the setup of your own universe? Like,
Keeping your
mm,
people on contract and not making Peacemaker season 2 and a standalone was a bad idea. Who would have thunk it?
mm, I think it was because I'm gonna bring it up right now, but it was the post he had where he had. I'm not shitting you guys.
By
He
the way,
said,
Cameron and Miss Sparkles, how y'all doing?
"Shit, this is hilarious." Okay, so James Gunn and Peter Safran are essentially the Kevin Feige's of the DCU, right? Okay. So one would imagine before they made this universe, the concept of canon would obviously come up, right?
You at
Okay,
least have an idea in your head, at least a basic outline.
right? Just basic outline. Everyone always this is standard movie TV show practice. You draw an outline of what you want to happen. Very basic stuff that happens, right? This guy straight up said in his own thread
Posting.
posting that him and his wife Jennifer and I forgot the overweight guy's name, the one with the guy who has the thing.
Deconomos, something like that.
Yeah, are gonna get on a podcast and discuss what is canon, and then I know that sounds retarded to you. I know. Here's the kicker. Then he asked you guys. He said, "What do you guys think is canon?" Okay, let's just break that down. James, you're the lead. And he might be not a good leader for a lot of people when it comes to things DC. However you feel about him. Okay, but just for the job description, I love what he has. He's the boss, right? Why is the boss of the universe asking just randoms online what they would assume is canon in this
Let's actually,
universe?
yes, it does sound idiotic on the surface. I hate to cut you off, MSK,
Oh,
but
no, you're good. You're good.
let's actually play devil's advocate for a second. He's in a messed up situation logistically. I'm not saying he didn't put his foot in his mouth, but let's be real. He had to maneuver everything from all the course correction from Hamada and basically everything that we're going to do. Whether or not The Rock and everything and all that, whether or not he was going to pull off Black Adam, that's irrelevant. But at the end of the day, he had to factor essentially a clean slate reboot while also keeping his wife, John Cena, and multiple factors still in contract unless you were in a position you were just going to buy them out. First of all, Warner Brothers, Warner Media, they were not going to be able to do that fresh off cutting ties with AT&T for Discovery. They were not going to be able to, especially John Cena. I mean, John Cena alone would have been millions of dollars to buy out. So let's just go ahead and establish that first. Second, Peacemaker should have been a standalone. If you were just trying to wrap this up and salvage the project and get your people on contract, have Peacemaker season 2 be a standalone. Let it be gradual. And if it's successful, good. We'll retcon and reintegrate into the DCU proper for season 3 and go from there. Now, Suicide Squad 2020, it was decent. It was okay. Creature Commando, mid, and hardly anybody watched it. It's good for what it is, But unless you're an avid comic book fan, and even then, it's not even a decent adaptation because the Creature Commando are movie monsters. The only one that's even that's only you would even argue that's appropriate is Frankenstein and the Bride.
So I bring it up right here because I know we covered it from comicbookmovie.com because it's so hard to find some of this stuff sometimes because you bookmark it and you have so many bookmarks that you got to go through your freaking bookmark search history.
Like you make a good point, Cameron. You could have just had you already had that to a degree with the DCEU. You could have just had Blue Beetle and Peacemaker be standalone and then start with Superman, and no one would have cared in the grand scheme of things.
Okay, so here I will make.
Oh, you got the screenshot, MSK?
I have the quote here. Yep.
All right, cue it up.
All right, so this is the podcast one. Now I want to make sure I want you guys to really emphasize how stupid this sounds, and keep in mind this is the person in charge. That would be like president. I'd be like any president at any time in history walking up to a civilian and going like, "What do you think about us, going to war?" Why? You're in charge. You're supposed to know that. I'm just like a fucking random. A random, obviously. So here's what he said. I've been thinking about this a lot in regards to the Suicide Squad and Blue Beetle. Keep in mind, these things shouldn't be canon anyway because they were a part of the DCEU. I mean, Suicide Squad's pretty ambiguous with it. Blue Beetle. Blue
Beetle doesn't contradict anything. Well, largely, you could treat Blue Beetle as standalone and nothing would, or you could integrate the DCU. But Blue Beetle's not strong enough as a brand to stand on his own movie-wise. You would have to put Blue Beetle in an ensemble like the Teen Titans.
And I've been... what? Sorry.
Teen Titans or Booster Gold. Now, with the Booster Gold show, I know we're trying to get through this quote, but I just want to say this. Fine. The original announced slate was flawed. And we'll go into detail in a minute, but let me just go ahead and get this out the way. Flawed. No one in their right mind was going to greenlit and commission an Authority movie. Maybe... a Superman movie with the Authority as the villain.
It wasn't even that, dude. Remember? Authority was supposed to be the second movie. Originally, supposed to be the second movie. It's like
exactly.
Okay, you have Superman, which is fine. I agree. He should be the starting point of the universe. But why would the second movie in building up the new cinematic DC universe need an Authority movie? That's something you put out at like the end of a chapter when you got like chapter 2 or 3. Yeah,
right, or at the very earliest, right before Justice League, towards the end, bare minimum, and that's only if you need a slot year.
Yeah. It was all because I remember when he first announced the slate, some of the stuff was like, okay, I can see because like you knew when you brought on James Gunn, you were gonna get some underknown characters you probably haven't ever heard titles.
You're doing it again,
but I think people will be fine with the Booster Gold. I do think people would be fine with getting like. To a certain extent, I would say Supergirl. Like, there's some in there weren't that bad. I could see if they're executed good enough, it could take off. But there was
it's a decent slate. Now, let's actually go by the slate as is. Waller was replaced with Peacemaker season 2. We all know that.
Thank God, no one wanted Waller. That's fine.
For better or for worse. For better or for worse.
Yeah.
Superman 2025 was all right.
It
just didn't make it. It just broke even. Best case, if we're not counting merchandise, it barely broke even.
Oh God, you're so nice, dude. Good Lord. But yes, okay. At the very minimum, worst case scenario, broke even.
Allegedly.
In Minecraft.
I'm being nice, man. Come on, I'm being nice. But all right, Brave. Okay, this is the huge issue. The Wonder Woman video game. I mean, Paradise Lost. That's a.
The Wonder Woman game, that's not his fault, but that's just common Warner Brothers just bullshit of like, to be completely fair, that's not just Warner Brothers. A lot of these studios got to stop doing that. They have to stop announcing shit. And then just in 5 years, when you actually think about it, it's never coming out. I thought about that Wonder Woman game. The same day they announced it's canceled, I thought I was like, wait a minute. Did they drop a cinematic for a Wonder Woman video game that they never had any progress on or did anything on at all? And then kind of find out it's gone.
And let me tell you, and casuals might not know this, especially when it comes to adaptations and distributions and all that. But when it comes to the licensing and character rights, the creators of Wonder Woman are relatively lax as hell.
They allow Patty Jenkins to write Wonder Woman 84. Now, did they?
As long as you make Wonder Woman badass, they don't care.
I'm just pointing out they let Patty Jenkins write Wonder Woman 1984, and I don't know if they attempted
Jeff
to hang
Johns wasn't
themselves.
there to bail her out in the screenplay. You know that as well as I do.
I mean, do you think the creators attempted suicide after watching the movie? Like,
looks like you're going to the Shadow Realm, Jimbo.
I think they went to the Shadow Realm willingly.
Wait, is that the one where Steve Trevor comes back in the form of a promiscuous individual and Diana? I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to risk getting us demonetized, but if you know, if it's the same film I'm talking about.
Yes. She might have inadvertently raped a guy. Good Lord. She might have just rode this guy's dick a lot of times. Maybe without his consent. In Minecraft, allegedly.
One of these days, MSK, you're going to get us demonetized.
I said allegedly in Minecraft. So, Paradise Lost, what was the initial thing about that? It was basically a prequel. It's basically a story centered around building up the Amazons at Themyscira without Wonder Woman in a show.
I could see a standalone movie, but
why can't you make a movie? If that's gonna be the concept, then just
make a movie.
Wonder Woman 2017 did that. You got the idea of what Themyscira was in Wonder Woman. Fine, from just the opening credits of the movie, just the first part of the movie, you understood. It wasn't that hard to explain. This is Patty Jenkins' first Wonder Woman film, not we don't count that other one. That
I get it. I will say this though. After 1984, I would take a step back and try to pivot too. I would let the Wonder Woman IP breathe a little bit before making another bit of the movie.
I mean, you could do a TV show, but you know
that's understandable. But
right.
But yeah,
I mean, with this other stuff.
But as well, God, I lost my train of thought. Brave and the Bold. Thank you, Brave and the Bold.
Yes.
This is the last thing I'll mention before we move on to the article. Brave and the Bold is largely going to get put. First of all, why would you have Batman push back? At least if we're going by the original slate, the only reason we're pushing Batman this far down is because Matt Reeves refuses to play ball and integrate. He wants his own vision, and he doesn't want to integrate the Matt Reeves and the epic crime saga into the DCU proper. He just doesn't want to do it, which is commendable. Honor your vision. Don't sell out to the executives. I commend the guy. Don't get me wrong, but from a marketing and business standpoint, the very fact that you would push Batman this down the line just to appeal, it's just foolish. Either you find a way, or the very least, don't go with an established Batman and Robin and Bat family. Just don't do it. Especially since you already have another Batman project.
Right.
Like, I get the difference. I get the contrast. But unless you're actively going to commit, and now you're trying to play it off like, oh God, this is bad. This is the bad embargo all over again. Like for real. But the best way I could describe this is that when Peter Safran's got a Peter Safran. He probably didn't care what James Gunn did as long as he announced something and got the investors off his ass because he was going to sell off DC the first chance he got. Let's just be objective about this. But but if we actually do take this genuinely with James Gunn and DC Studios under the current regime, not Paramount taking over, but under the current regime, James Gunn was probably left to do whatever he wanted. He had decent goodwill. He had a lot of momentum going from Guardians 3, Peacemaker Season 1, and just his whole controversy after beating that and getting canceled. But and they just thought, hey, this is a successful filmmaker. He's a decent enough director, and we need some momentum trying to reboot and get us started. So they did what they had to do. Now with Paramount taking over, and you know how much oversight Paramount pulls. I mean, they're atrocious when it comes to executive oversight.
I just want to point out that the idiots that were saying on Twitter that Paramount would have made better decisions than Netflix, like, would they be better overall for
no
Warner Brothers? It's like, decision wise, no. Yeah, both of them guys are bad. Like, Netflix, to be fair, I don't like Netflix that much. Company wise, they do a lot of weird, fucked up shit. They would have been better financially because they would have cleaned their entire debt. Keep in mind, Netflix were going to basically clean up their whole debt. They're going to clean the whole thing. They just didn't want the cable networks because, well, obviously they're a streaming company. Why would a streaming company want cable networks? Yeah,
That's
it's
worthless debt for no reason. The only
like
way you would have made that
yeah,
work is if you outsourced it like right after the
right,
acquisition.
right. And that's why I said personally, I know you guys might not like Netflix, but no offense, their deal's better. Their deal's better. All the debt's gone. All that $80 billion in debt they accumulated from, well, their mistakes. Let's just call them mistakes.
From what Warner Media and what Warner I can make a whole video on how Zaslav got finessed by Emmerich alone, by Emmerich and AT&T alone.
Right?
I can make a whole video on that.
Yeah.
But given the circumstances, if you just wanted to clear the debt, restructure DC, and just get rid of that and trim the fat, essentially trim the fat. Excuse me. Netflix would have been better solely for that. But long term and managing the IPs. And especially if we're looking at this as from an investor standpoint, Paramount obviously had the better deal because you want to make your money back. You want to capitalize and have positive growth on your investments.
Yeah. So there's two ways of looking at it. They looked at it and went, okay.
Netflix would be more convenient, but Paramount would make us the better deal to get the most money.
Netflix were going to completely wipe away their debt. They just didn't want the TV linear stuff. But then again, they know that Netflix was never going to take the TV stuff because Netflix is a streaming company. Paramount, in their deal, even though it might be slightly a bit better, they were going to take everything, not just money-wise, but you have more debt with Paramount's deal.
Accumulated with it.
Yeah, that's the problem, though. But I understand it from their point of view. It's like, but who the fuck is paying top dollar for CNN? Who would pay? I'll be honest here. Netflix made the right call. I wouldn't pay for that shit. I wouldn't personally. It's a bad investment, though.
And even if you try to outsource it after the acquisition, who would buy it?
Who's sitting there going like, you know what? Every business is already strapped for cash. CNN for sale.
They barely. This was Warner Media, mind you. They barely were able to get rid of CW, and there were some very good shows on CW. Don't get me Supernatural, especially.
Oh, my guys. Vampire Diaries and Originals. You had Flash. You had Smallville, like you said. Supernatural, which ran multiple seasons.
But commercially, they never made a freaking profit. It was 15 years worth of freaking back debt.
You know what makes it even worse? People forget it was a joint venture with Viacom CBS, Paramount's TV division. Imagine two studios funding it and couldn't get it profitable. That's crazy. That is absolutely insane.
Oh no, there was obviously some money laundering going on behind the scenes. They'll never admit it, but there was. Like, come on, let's be objective.
Yep. Even when none of that stuff was profitable, and it was it's actually even worse when you think about it. People don't understand breaking even in business terms. No business wants that. No one on their level wants that.
At the end of the day, that's barely keeping your head above water.
Yeah, and also you got to kind of factor in. I think that I personally think it was financially worse because what about the years you were just starting up? What about the years where obviously the ratings are down? I believe they actually lost more money than they actually broke even on. I think it was just a complete. And keep in mind, I love some of those shows. I would still watch a lot of those shows. So say I love this stuff on the CW sometimes. You know, it had its really campy, disgusting, cringe bullshit it would always do, but it was
season 3.
Fuck, God, I'm just coughing too much. Damn it, J-Heat. But now you're good, man. It's The thing is, Warner Brothers put themselves in the spot to be sold off. We're just gonna forget the J.J. Abrams deal. Here's $200 million. Make us DC dark content. What does J.J. Abrams get? Nothing. He just gives
didn't he produce Cape Crusaders, or did he outsource that to Amazon?
So Warner Brothers actually sold that to Amazon. Amazon actually funded most of that. Amazon wanted that for the streaming service. So he was just involved as a producer. And like, what did he do on that? Is just, it's crazy. It took so long to come out. People were like, where the fuck is the show? And then, well, no one even realized it even exists now. Yeah. Well, how you make money on TV shows versus movies is way different. TV shows is obviously done by a system of ratings,
merchandise,
all that stuff. So like movies, it's way different. Essentially, the shows don't produce enough ratings to get enough money for the studio. So then people would ask, well, why would you still run them though? Tax write-offs. That's all.
And I'll even give you a recent example. This is a dated example. I'm probably showing my age with this one. But Teen Titans 03 or just about any other former Saturday morning cartoon you can think of. Yes, merchandise, toys, lunch boxes, stuff like that. But when you follow the old, I'll even give you another example, not just Teen Titans. Young Justice during its original syndication, seasons 1 and 2, they relied solely on the toy sale model. But Young Justice season 2 was so raw, was so melodramatic, I should say, so angsty that the toy sales tanked so bad that Martell pretty much backed out, and Young Justice season 2 was officially canceled from that point. Why do you think it took 10 years to actually even consider a revival?
Oh, you also got to factor in, like you said, toy sales. I know you guys have seen those Arrowverse toys throughout your life. Did that I never seen that.
Barely. I barely saw any merchandise for the Arrowverse at all.
It barely sold. Because I live in California. I don't know what state you live in.
Okay. You might have seen more than I did.
It never sold. None of that shit sold. I was always going to Walmart. That shit would be stocked full. Like, no one wanted that shit. And then felt bad for my guy Barry Allen, Grant Gustin. God damn it, they really fucked that guy. But Green Lantern. So there's two different ways to look at it. So a lot of people go, how would a certain show not make money? It's just people gotta understand the business side of it. If the business can use it as a tax write-off,
they'll use it.
So it's actually cheaper on the business to keep funding it, even though it's a net ratings loss, because you're also getting the benefit of it being a tax write-off. So essentially, the reason why businesses invest that money, guys, is because if you don't invest that money, if you're on their kind of business level, the amount of money you get, the amount of percentage you get taxed on it. Oh, none of us.
The IRS don't play.
The IRS. Yeah. The amount of money. You
got to spend it on something. You got to document. You got to spend it on something.
So that's why, like, I don't know if you guys are. Well, I don't think you guys have jobs, but you know how like you do your taxes and they always ask you what you spent your money on? That's a reason for that, because you can use that to your advantage. And businesses on like that level, like, and I know people are I know it's gonna sound stupid. So Superman, the one movie that came out that we pretty much said was kind of a box office failure, it probably was a box office failure. I think it personally was. They can use
if we're going by pure numbers, it probably failed by a small enough margin that merchandise was able to pick up the slack.
Right.
And it didn't lose by much, but it's still considered a financial loss.
Yeah, and why? And you guys got to factor in, why do you guys think that most of those actors were complaining about their pay? So, Grant, I would say not Grant Gustin. Oh my God, the people that played Joe and Caitlin and Cisco and Iris. You guys remember
the supporting cast?
Yeah, you remember them always trying to negotiate a higher pay raise with the network constantly? I know those. You guys know those stories? They were out there.
Yeah. The only one I would argue was justified was Joe, because he's a seasoned actor. He deserved more than what they were giving.
Killing it on the show.
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, and it was crazy, guys. In the Flash, I didn't watch the final season of Flash. I watched all the other seasons.
You're better off. It is hot garbage. It is.
Don't break my heart.
It is hot garbage.
The guy who plays Joe left in the final season to go headline a show on NBC. Now, was that show ever successful and did it go multiple seasons? I have no fucking clue. But he made way more money, I'd imagine, going to that than staying on the CW. Why do you guys think the guy that played Cisco is not there? Why do you guys think that Tom Cavanaugh basically said, yeah, I'm not going to be a series regular anymore? Grant Gustin literally negotiated a 1-season contract after his 7-season contract was up. Yeah.
Because it was originally supposed to go for 7 seasons. That was the original commission.
And then after season 7, he negotiated by a year-by-year basis. So season 8, he was paid a lot more money, and then season 9, he made the bag. He deserved to make the bag. With all that bullshit.
Yeah, definitely get paid. Do what you got to do.
And this is the thing that the company keeps doing. Another big one I know you guys know about, the day and date release. And it wasn't just the day and date release. The day and date release was horrible because they almost got sued by every company that was involved with the movies in general, and they had to pay a bunch of millions of dollars in back-end deals to keep these people happy. Otherwise, they would have gotten sued into the ground. Probably would be no more Warner Brothers if they actually didn't give up all that money. So this company has been very bad with money. That's the reason why they're getting bought out. Like, it's not any of the talent's fault. They're just doing it for a job. I will be fair to them with that. Warner Brothers has been badly run forever. Like,
they've always been.
Let's look at just another random example. It just came in my head one day when I was at I think a Walmart, just texting on my phone, waiting for my ride. Remember those great animated shows you liked as a kid? Teen Titans, you like the Static Shock and Batman Beyond, all that stuff. Why did those shows get canceled? Why did they end? If they were just these are highly very rated shows, not word of mouth. The actual ratings of them were insane. They actually
Arguably
had a
iconic,
viewership.
depending on which ones we're talking about.
Why were those shows canceled? Teen Titans was canceled. Why?
Yeah. Teen
Because
Titans stretched its audience too thin because it was split between multiple demographics. A lot of people were hopping on more than they could anticipate and
right.
craft
Also,
storylines
they
for.
put Teen Titans on at a bad time slot where you could compete with Avatar, you could compete with Ben 10, you could compete with Toonami at that moment in time.
It was being phased out.
Damn, that's a lot. There's your competition right there.
With so much competition, they were practically going to get phased out anyway. And what can you really do with a season 6? Like, I know we're still on the article. We'll get to the article in a moment, but I just want to make this example. Teen Titans was basically all the major storylines from like Teen Titans. Season 1 was season 1 kind of started with a more modern one with Red X / the Renegade conflict and just Grayson's growing pains getting out of Bruce's shadow. Season 2 was obviously Judas Contract. Season 3 was the Technus Imperative. Season 4 was Trigon the Terrible. And season 5 was mostly Beast Boy and the Doom Patrol and the Brotherhood of Evil. Starfire. Now, granted, Starfire gets a few focused episodes to her name, but what other major storyline does Starfire have that you could revolve a whole season around, other than either her or Robin finally getting together, which again was in trouble in Tokyo, and her political marriage?
You could arguably what they could have done. Like I know I'm not very familiar with comic Titans actually. What you could do is what the comics did around when they kind of phase them out of being teens. You just call it Titans when they're adults. That's the only other way you do that.
It's like, you would have to rebrand.
They would just grow up because they had an episode with Nightwing, right? Yeah. Where she was like, Robin,
traveling,
right?
Trapped in the future. You would have to rebrand it and then have Grayson fully rebrand as Nightwing to indicate time had passed. That's the only way you'd be able to pull it off.
I've always personally thought a big reason why those shows ended was because the higher ups were probably very mad that a lot of people like the animated cartoon stuff for kids, but they didn't like their live action attempts. Well, yeah, this is something that like a lot of these bigger people in these companies have got to understand. The audience responds with what they think in a show has a heart and it's authentic. Why do people still talk about Batman the Animated Series? Because when you watch the behind the scenes making of the show, even if you just watch the base show, you can tell there was a lot of love and heart put into it. Like everyone involved wanted to put out their best foot forward. That's why the show's beloved, not just because the story's great and all that stuff. All that stuff is true, but you could tell there's a heart there. There's a soul there. You genuinely loved it from what was being produced. Well, live action attempts, no. Like, no offense, outside of like what? Dark Knight movies? The first
outside the Dark Knight, outside of a few highlighted examples, the Dark Knight trilogy, the Christopher Reeve Superman film.
Are you guys unless Superman Returns was made with heart in it? That movie stunk.
No, that was a nostalgia fest with a major generation gap. Like
Catwoman.
It's Halle Berry, man. It's Halle Berry. You're not there. You're not there for the story. You're there for Halle Berry. Like, come on, come on.
Okay. I'm gonna watch that. I haven't seen. I've seen a promo of it a long time ago when season 1
I still
dropped.
feel it's rushed because you can't do Reign of the Superman without Death of Superman. This is gonna be rushed as hell.
Have faith. Remember, what's that old saying? Watch product, get ready for next product. Damn it, Jay Heat, just get ready for the next fucking product, man.
What? How does it feel to watch all your favorite properties go down in flames?
Well, shit. I was thinking about that too. Huh.
Oh, Cameron, to answer your question. Oh God, I forgot CN Real was a thing.
What else
like
was it?
You remember like Destroy, Build, Destroy, and
Justice League. So I forget which one was it. Originally, I remember they had that final episode of all the heroes running out of the building, but the another ending of it was the other season where it's the Batman Beyond crossover ending of it.
Oh no, that was a standalone episode. That's epilogue. What you're thinking of? That wasn't
technically that ending. Technically,
it's technically a definitive ending for the DCAU as a whole, but it is considered a Justice League Unlimited episode, not a Batman Beyond episode, but a Justice League Unlimited episode.
You know, I just feel like when it comes to James Gunn's universe, as we go through more of this, it's just like.
I get where he was going for because DCAU was obviously the template here. I get where he's going for.
He did say, remember, he said the inspiration for this was Justice League, Unlimited and all those other shows. And it's like, well, okay, like It's like when someone says, "Hey, my show was inspired by Game of Thrones." Okay, what do you mean by that? Do you mean like the setting, the story, the tone, character? What do you mean by that? Like, maybe these things are just too coded for me because I'm just old and just good looking and rich and successful. Right, Jake? No, all right. Oh my God. He says, and I've been meaning. Sorry, and he says, and I've been meaning to rewatch both with an eye towards that, knowing what I know now, almost 3 years into the DCU, with a couple more years of scripts being actively filmed or created. Maybe after Man of Tomorrow, buddy. I don't think you get a after Man of Tomorrow. I think the universe might be over by then, but who knows? Maybe I might be wrong about that. Jidden, Steve, and I can get together for a special couple podcasts to discuss. What? What? What do you guys think is potentially or definitely not? Okay. So he was asking this, he was saying this on Threads, right?
Mhm.
I still ask this. Why are you asking complete randoms what they would potentially put in the universe's canon? You decide that. You're in charge. You're the boss. You
Blue
decide that.
Beetle, like Blue Beetle is pretty standalone. You could squeeze Jaime Reyes with the Booster Gold show, and there is no contradiction. Like Blue Beetle is on its own and standalone enough. You could just sweep Blue Beetle right in and use Booster Gold as a follow up. That's not the problem. The problem is you got to factor Suicide Squad 2016, the Suicide Squad in 2020, especially since you referenced it in both Future Commandos and Suicide Squad. This is literally the definition of trying to have your cake and eat it too, and it's just not working.
Want to get on a podcast and discuss canon? That's what we do. Like we do that.
Exactly. That's the engagement. That's commerce.
I'm not saying that you can't get on DC's YouTube channel and talk about the good things. Like they have that. Like DC has a podcast for like Batman or some shit like that.
That's free advertising at the end of the day. I mean, no one's gonna stop you from doing that.
This is not bad. This gives people the vibe that you didn't really have a plan going into this. The big optimism surrounding this was like, oh, well, there's a slate, there's a person in charge, there's a vision, it looks like there's a plan. Oh, there's some movies and shows announced. I might not agree with all the decisions made with what's announced. You know what? This looks kind of interesting. Let's see. Then you read this and you're like, I agree with you. This guy just needs to stop talking about this stuff because this is just digging a hole.
Keep your mouth shut. For God's sake.
Shovel, dirt, hole. Shovel further. Put the shovel in harder. Dirt. Shovel. Why? Why, James? Stop. Just. Do you remember when he was trying to explain to people what was in a Superman movie? James, your Superman movie is at the bare minimum just okay. It's just an
at
okay.
best. Your Superman movie is basically the J.J. Abrams equivalent of Christopher Reeves.
Oh God!
The only difference is you didn't blatantly rip it off.
Yeah, it's like James. I would not be I would.
It's mid. I'll just be honest. It's freaking mid. It's a good movie.
I would say forgettable. It's a movie where it's hard to remember this movie sometimes. Like I would have to rewatch it again. I think because overall. I wanted to love it because I love Superman comic books that you guys can see. I've seen like every single Superman, most things, obviously.
Not to mention Mr. Terrific completely stole the show.
Oh, God. Yeah, imagine that. A Superman movie where the other character steals the show. Good fucking God damn it. Crazy, right? Just a crazy thing. Mr. Terrific, the side character, is the one you remember most about the movie. Ah, fuck me. God damn it. Yeah, it's just... his Superman movie, I would highly advise if I was an advisor, if I was his lawyer, I'd be like, I don't think you should be telling people what.
Get off social media. Get it.
I would highly tell him, and just a very hey buddy, do not discuss the plot details and intricacies of your Superman movie because when you do that, that movie would fall apart even harder than what it is. It's already just an okay movie. You start picking that movie apart, woo, golly, that goes from like a borderline 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10 maybe to like 3.
I will say this though. God. I will say this. I admire his ambition. Just ignore Twitter. Don't say anything because you're not exuding confidence. First of all, you already have David Lindelof on freaking Lanterns. And then didn't he recently make an article where the showrunner, excuse me, not Lindelof, but the other showrunner, openly admitted that Hal was gonna get replaced, or they were gonna Luke Skywalker him, because I remember I forget the name. I remember one they were gonna give him the Luke Skywalker treatment, where he's just downgraded for to prop up John. And you don't have to do that. You don't have to drag another character down to prop someone else up. Why even do that? There's no point. The characters should be able to stand on their own. Granted, a lot of John's early appearances are within the convention of the, let's just say, aggressive stereotype. I will give them that. But at least you're not pulling a Beware My Power and just ripping off Kyle Rayner with crappy animation for 80 minutes. Do you know what I could do with an hour and a half instead of watching Beware My Power? Literally anything else.
Cameron says his Twitter comments also don't help about the criticism. I'm just pointing out he starts going into intricate detail about a Superman movie. No. I would just suggest not doing that. Just for your own sake, buddy. Don't do that. It's definitely not. It's not even it's just an okay movie, and you could also lean it towards being bad. I think calling it good is a stretch. When people say it's good, I wouldn't call it
mid.
good.
It's mid, and that's okay. I'll even name a random example. Legend of Korra. It is mid. The protagonist is insufferable, but it is mid. Is at least mid. Compared to Atla, it is a downgrade and hot garbage because Atla is a freaking masterpiece. But at least with Legend of Korra on its own, it's aggressively mid because there are some good things in Korra. A lot of bad, but some good sprinkled in.
I'm not a nerd, J-Heat. I didn't watch Avatar. That'd make me a nerd.
Like I said, I just named a random example.
I thought you were fun. Okay, I will be watching Ben 10 for the first time. The original one. I used to see promos for it growing up. I don't know why I never gravitated towards me. People are like, you didn't. I hate the internet sometimes. I love the internet. Hate it. So why did you watch this X popular thing when it was coming out? Maybe I just wasn't interested. I don't fucking know. I'm not interested in everything when it drops. Sometimes I just like the things that I like. Actually,
Ben 10 is good, but the nostalgia hypes it up more than it gives credit for. Ben 10 and the larger franchise is expanded upon and improves when you go to Alien Force onward. But Ben 10 Classic has a lot of cheese and filler you just have to get through if you're going to commit to watching the whole thing, because it can really grade. It's good. I'm not going to deny you that experience, MSK.
Good.
But there's some good episodes and there's some bad episodes. But that's all I'm gonna say on that.
All right, good, man. That's fine. Yeah, because I know people always talk about it, and there's people here that always will reference it. There is a new comic book series that just started for it.
I've read it. It is
like
awesome. It is literally page for page. It is frame by frame of the first episode.
Okay, because you know how most of these properties are when they're like, "Oh, this is a new modern take." That's some red flag shit right there. When there's the modern take, I don't want anything modern with you people these days. People don't even know how to write movies properly. Like, you remember that movie Trap from M. Night Shyamalan came out a few years ago?
Oh God, I remember that.
And people want to know why movies don't make money. All right, so guys, I don't care if you've seen it. This is a spoiler. Well, to be fair, they spoiled it. The whole movie's spoiled in the fucking trailer anyway, so it doesn't really matter, obviously. But another problem with that movie, just the first thing, the whole movie's in the trailer. Literally the first 2 halves of the movie's in the trailer. I'm not shitting you. The whole thing's in the trailer. Literally outside of the third act. Then there's a part in this movie where the wife knew he was the butcher. Okay? So the wife knew he was a serial killer. She found out because, I don't know, magic beans. She ate them. I don't fucking know. She did backflips down the stairs. Who knows, right? Never revealed how she really knew. She's like, I kind of watched you and you went into a building. I was like, all right, I guess fucking hell, right? So this mom knew her husband was a serial killer and sent her daughter with a serial killer somewhere. Just like, what? Wait a minute. Also, if he's a serial killer and you knew that, why not just have the FBI or cops get him in your house before they even left? Just mind-blowing shit. I'm watching this going man, this movie's an absolute pile of ass. This movie's absolutely terrible. It's absolute. You watch that movie, you might actually hang yourself because that movie is horrible. It's a cool premise. Had a great premise.
Poor execution. Just poor execution all across the board.
Poor is an understatement. That is an understatement. That poor. Woo! Some would say it was shanked through the neck. No. Stabbed at the heart.
As for the Atla movie, I'm gonna wait for the official release because this is a slap in the face to everyone who worked on it, especially in animation, especially when you're on a computer for hours on end trying to meet deadlines. It is hell. Like, and then because Paramount being cheap and wanted to prop up their lackluster streaming for it, Paramount Plus is the weakest out of all the streaming platforms. Can we just say it? Can we just freaking say it compared to everybody else?
I had Paramount Plus for a little bit. It was all right, I think. It wasn't anything great. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think the personal best ones are, I had Prime Video.
I think Prime Video, HBO Max, and Amazon.
And I had HBO Max before. I liked HBO Max. I thought it was actually good.
Too bad they stripped their entire catalog, but hey, Tubi picked up the slack.
That's how you know they're not making money. Do you know how these people always say they're making so much money hand over fist on streaming? Oh, they are, right? Why do they have ad commercials then?
Not to mention Courage the Cowardly Dog, Codename Kids Next Door, Ed, Edd n Eddy. Their entire 2000s catalog they stripped and removed from HBO Max. It was everything. It was gone.
What are we talking about? Oh no, I was talking about M. Night Shyamalan's movie that came out back in 2024. It was called Trapped. Yeah, don't watch that. I would actually say don't watch that.
Is Shyamalan the same guy that made the infamous Last Airbender movie?
He did. He also made that. He also directed The Happening. You remember The Happening with Mark Wahlberg?
Oh God. The guy is a hack. Why does he keep getting movies? This guy shouldn't be anywhere near a camera, let alone a studio.
You know how I said just never watch Trap? Never watch The Happening. He didn't try on that one. Nobody tried on that movie. That was just like
the Happening. You knew that was gonna be shit. Like, come on.
I bought that on DVD. My brother bought it on DVD. He brought it home. He thought he was cooking. Gift. No. It was this liquor store who was selling DVDs back in the day. The movies were really cheap. They're like $2 or whatever. Brought him The Happening.
Those were the days.
He thought he was cooking with that one. It said The Happening. It had this cool little premise. No, it's trash. Utterly horrible movie. I don't even think I finished it. I think I got to the part where, I knew I didn't finish it. I knew it was just so bad. It's
one of those.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You're fine. Go ahead.
And fun fact, Cameron, South Park was actually split between HBO Max and Paramount Plus for a time because the creators got a little greedy and kind of did a joint deal between the two, and they tried to get around it by making specials exclusive to Paramount Plus. But they weren't able to get away with that anymore.
What about Clayface movie? I like the Clayface trailer.
It's a horror film. Horror films have relatively small budgets. The only thing you really have to worry about is the special effects. So it'll make a profit, albeit a small one. But box office wise, I'd say Black Adam numbers. Best case scenario.
That, depending on the marketing and the budget surrounding it, that would be actually, you would think that'd be pretty good. There's a chance the Clayface movie has a bigger profit margin than the Supergirl movie coming up. But then again, that's a joke in and of itself. Supergirl making profit. No, there's no way. I'm sorry, guys. That movie's probably doing like 400 million max.
And full disclaimer, Supergirl might actually surprise us. Supergirl might actually be good. I'm not refuting that possibility.
Yeah.
But from a pure marketing, brand, IP, and box office standpoint, you'll be lucky this makes 350 million.
Yeah. What was Venom 3's number? Wasn't it like 420? Venom 3 for its last.
Venom was right at
430, 420, right? Yeah.
Roughly 430 million, excuse me.
Sorry, my bad. Venom, The Last Dance. What a stupid name. 478. I think Supergirl does 420.
That's fair, right? Just under 450. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And that's probably not good considering how much money they're going to spend on it.
Oh, no, they completely blew up the budget. They're downplaying that as hell. They completely blew up the budget.
Dude,
let's be honest.
Did you see the damage control for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie coming up? You know how the media is softening it and they're saying shit like, well, this was actually made cheaper than a lot of their other movies.
You haven't made a movie since COVID. You were scared of making movies ever since what was it? Solo?
Rise of Ass.
No, before that. That was still bad too, but before that.
Before
Solo
Last Jedi.
flopped? Solo freaking flopped? How do you screw up Han Solo? That's what I want to know.
I just want to make sure you guys know the media is already trying to spin this. All those weird like shills. They're trying to. This movie's it was made more cheaper. It has like the tax credits, guys. Even when you because the tax credits to get the money back from. Even when you apply the tax credits, the movie's budget would be around $140 million. Then you have to factor in how much money they're going to spend on it. Now, I don't know what the marketing numbers are going to be for it. It's always a rough amount. It could be like 80 million, could be 100 million, could be $150 million.
Marketing alone takes anywhere from 30 to 45% of the final budget.
Okay, so what? $50 million roughly?
Right at 50, give or take.
Okay, so it'd be 190. So 190, 2.5. So that's probably gonna be around. Oh no, there's no way the dude's gonna fail. I'm sorry. They're not making that. There's no way.
Hold on, that's right at 380 million.
That's the break even. That's the break even mark. Because you're factoring in.
Because Mandalorian. Okay, the Mandalorian. Okay, season 3 was atrocious. I'm not gonna argue that with you. But Grogu or Baby Yoda does have a lot of marketability factor.
Hey, if they're trying to get the single mom MILF crowd.
Exactly. Like that,
I mean, it could work. It could work.
It's possible is what I'm saying.
It'll be close. You're going to go watch the movie because there's MILFs in there, Jay. Is that what you're saying? You're going to be MILF hunting?
Never change, MSK. Never change.
I'm just pointing out. All right, so today me and Nate looked at it. It was 165, so they have a tax credit thing. So that's 20 million off. So that puts it at 140. So if the marketing budget for this thing is like, let's just lowball it. Let's just say it's 50 million. Okay. So that's just 50, right? So then you do like what? 190 times 2.5. And that's where its break even numbers at. So it's 475. So profit would be like around 600, $700 million roughly, because The Flash was let's say a $200 million budgeted movie. They said to break even, that thing needed to make $700 million to break even. So I'm probably even lowballing this too, right? So an almost $200 million movie needs $700 million to break even. Breaking even, as you know, means fucking you didn't get anything. And guys, that factor in, theaters take 50% of those ticket sales. This movie's got to be bringing in like $800 million to ink in a little bit of money. It's not doing that. I'm sorry, guys. Mandalorian's making like $500 million max, and then all the fucking shills out there who love Disney Star Wars are gonna get on their knees and go, it made $500 million, but yeah, that's fucking nothing. That means nothing. There's a lot of movies out there. Okay,
that's a 50% loss.
Here, I'll give an example. Let's do Avengers Doomsday. People are going to go, well, Doomsday made like $1 billion. That's not enough. Do you know how much money they're spending on marketing and the cast alone? Just because a movie makes a big amount doesn't mean that's profitable for movies. Why do people keep thinking that?
First of all, Avengers Doomsday is already going to be a major nostalgia trip because you have the entire X-Men cast coming back. Patrick Stewart alone. Do you know? Okay, first of all, Patrick Stewart, Ian McGregor, icons. They were the best to ever do it. Yeah. Solid roles. I do not care what you say. Now, X-Men First Class, the reboot, they did good with what they were given. They were decent, but you are not topping Patrick Stewart and Ian McGregor. Right. I forget his last name, but you get what I'm trying to say.
No, you said it right. Yeah.
Ian McGregor. You are not topping that duo, their synergy, their chemistry, their dynamic. You are not topping that as an overall performance, especially for those characters specifically. It is just perfection. It is a masterclass performance all across the board. This is a $500 million nostalgia. Oh, Ian McClacken. Okay, thank you. Ian McKellen. Thank you. This is a $500 million nostalgia trip, bare freaking minimum, and that's not even counting marketing.
Yeah, because the thing is, this is their first movie since Rise of Skywalker, so there is a lot of pressure on this movie to perform, and this movie is going to be making like Solo money. Solo made like what, 393, I think, almost. It was like the first Star Wars film from the flop. Yeah, yeah.
It was 375.
Yeah, so
hold on, let me actually look this up.
I think you're right. I'm pretty sure it was like 370 or 390, but even whichever number it is, that's what Mandalorian and Grogu's getting. Guys, Solo was considered a flop. Well, I mean, that is a flop. If your movie costs that much money to make and it's making that much, that's a flop. If Mandalorian and Grogu makes that, that's a flop. I'm sorry.
Okay,
No way.
You were right. You were right.
It's 393. Oh, Mandalorian is cooked, dude. If you think
390
Mandalorian making that, cooked.
393 million worldwide. Domestic 213, just under 180 million internationally, against a $275 million budget, not counting marketing. That's an almost $77 million loss.
Oh, holy shit. Holy shit. That is what Mandalorian and Grogu probably makes. Okay, and if it doesn't make that, highest is $400 million. Keep in mind, guys, that's what I also think Supergirl's going to make too.
Like I said, Black Adam numbers. If these films can make Black Adam numbers back to back, that is literally best case scenario.
Oh, good night.
Good night, Tevia. Good night, Tevia.
Do we even know the premise of the movie? Or is it just Temu Mandalorian season 4?
It's a revamp of what Mandalorian season 4 was going to be. They decided to condense it all together into a movie.
I'll be honest with you guys,
which was probably the best call if we're being objective.
I didn't watch any seasons of Mandalorian, but
it's good, but it falls off quick. That's all I'm gonna say.
But I did see the trailer for it. I was watching a movie. I think I was watching Send Help or Mercy or whatever. Saw a trailer for it. It didn't. I was like, if that's supposed to be someone's first impression of what the movie's supposed to be, there's just like, I'm just saying right now, do not be surprised if this movie fails. Those trailers were absolutely terrible.
This is what I would have done.
Get people to go and watch it. Watch those trailers and tell me with a straight face that is going to convince people to go into the movie theaters to watch that movie.
This is what I would have done. I would at the very least have delayed Mandalorian Grogu to Christmas or closer to the holiday. That way you can get the full family crowd. Kids are out of school because you know this movie's going to be mid. You know this movie is going to be relatively mid, but at least with the holiday crowd, you at least have some momentum going for you. Mm-hmm. Plotting it in the middle of the summer is no different than dropping Captain America 4 on Black History Month. It's a dud waiting to happen. From a commercial standpoint, it is a dud.
Yeah, and I tell you guys this stuff because I'm not saying that because I know a lot of the discussion that some of these weird people, because they're not smart. They can't think. They're always talking in this weird way of like, why are fans talking about profits and box office numbers when they're not investing in the movie? Oh my God.
Those are logistics. That's how you tell if a movie is profitable, and you got to justify sequels.
Yeah. And I tell people this, the reason why that is a part of the discussion now, to be fair, it always should be. And keep in mind, no one is saying, I don't think anyone, even the people that might agree or disagree with you about a movie or how you feel about it, nobody would say with a straight face, oh, this movie's better because it made more money. No. That's obviously not part of the discussion. What's a part of the discussion is that you have to kind of factor in if this movie didn't do well financially. Let's say even if you did like the movie, you're probably not getting another one. Let's say you like that Borderlands movie. I don't know how anyone liked that Borderlands movie. It was fucking awful. But
wait, there was a Borderlands movie?
Yeah, it was. It was with oh my God, Jamie Lee Curtis and Kevin Hart. It came out in 2020.
I forgot. Wait, they actually dropped it. I thought they backgirled that for the tax write-off.
One would think they should have. One would actually think they should have, but they didn't because Lionsgate is
take the loss. Jesus Christ!
I don't even know what Lionsgate was cooking there. It was sure not anything good. That shit was burnt chicken, sort of black charcoal. You know when a dude's like, I can cook, that shit was just black. It's just the movie was terrible. Not only is it bad, this is the problem I have with movies these days. They're not just bad, you just forget them. I have to bring them up to people. There was a border. Yeah. I watched it because, we have a channel here where we review movies sometimes. But come on, I love movies. I do review them with you guys sometimes, but it's just like, God damn. I feel like sometimes I'm a one-man army with watching some of these new movies. But no, just the reason why numbers should be factored into the discussion is because you also have to measure, was this considered successful with theater taking their cuts? Obviously, the marketing that goes into it, all these other countries that take their cuts too. But even when you have to consider all that, like one would obviously look at No Way Home and consider that successful based off the movie making enough money, and it obviously being a success with the people that watched it, right? But
outside of nostalgia and Sony headlined that project, so most of the money was going to go to them.
Like I don't like. Okay, if you have a normie casual ticket, I don't care how much a movie made as long as it's good. That's fine. But if you liked that movie, when you want more of it, I would think so. But to be fair, not everything needs a sequel. I'm not even saying everything needs a sequel. My thing is like, why are people so defensive with companies I'm just discussing the numbers with you. And keep in mind, these numbers could be lower or higher because who knows, they could fudge these things too. I don't know, these people aren't really known to be the most trustworthy people, when do you remember the legendary Bob Iger quote he came up with like a few years ago where they're talking about quality of the MCU? Dudes out here saying like, they're talking about quality over quantity, and he's like, now we got to start making movies the right way or something. What the fuck are you talking about? What? Bros out here they just inadvertently admit that the movies they were making were shit. Okay, I guess.
See, that's actually what I wanted to bleed into, because when you feel like you have a solid IP, a solid brand, you are too big to fail, that's when you start screwing up. Because Star Wars was arguably the most successful and biggest brands of all time. And since Disney and Lucasfilm, and they had squandered it because you had stupid ideas. You threw out everything you dubbed it Legends and threw everything out. It was a template, it was a manuscript. George Lucas's, it was all there. All you had to do was literally adapt it from comic book to paper to tie-in material to screen. And you could just let the money flow. But you wanted to put your own spin on it. And yes, all companies chase trends. That's just an objective truth. All companies are going to chase trends because they want to see where the consumer base is. But there are good trends and there are bad trends. And if you can't capitalize it in a way to where you can market to multiple people in multiple demographics, even though you already have an established template in place, stick to what you have and play it the goddamn safe. Because at the end of the day, we're here to make money.
Yeah, this is the thing a lot of people forget. They're making the stuff with the intention of making money. Like, you have those weird people out there that go, no, they made it for the heart and love. Okay, yeah, all that fucking stupid shit. Yeah, you do these things as business ventures to make money, though. Because I don't know how you pay your talent without money. Talent doesn't get paid without money. Like the health insurance you need on movies so people get hurt, they can go to the hospital. Yeah, that needs money. You need money for this stuff, guys. Movies aren't just made with like, I just wanted to put out here. This stuff isn't made with charity.
I'm pretty sure there's an AI joke in here somewhere, but it's not coming to me right now.
No, you're good. It's one of these things that people don't understand. This stuff costs money to make, so they're gonna need to make some money back. Crazy thing, right? Just utterly crazy thing to think about. Man, I'm trying to find that quote he did because it was one of the funniest fucking things I've ever heard this guy say. But it was true though. Oh my god, I just typed in my fucking bookmarks BO. It's definitely not something I want to type in there. Here was one of the quotes. He said, I've always felt that quantity can be actually a negative when it comes to quality. And I think that that's exactly what happened. We lost some focus. Bro, you didn't just lose focus. I don't know what you guys did.
At best, you grew a freaking backbone because the work atmosphere and the work environment in Disney is toxic as hell. At most, when you got the CEO position back, Iger, you grew a freaking backbone.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up here in just a moment. I actually want to find that quote because that shit is so fucking hilarious. When he was like, yeah, he basically like softly admitted they were just making a bunch of shit. Now, to be completely fair, we all knew that.
But it's good. It's good when the CEO can openly admit that.
Like sometimes you're like, all right.
You just gotta be real with people. You just gotta be real about it. Own it.
He had one where he said, quantity does not necessarily beget quality. Yes, Bob. No shit, buddy. We know that. Oh my god. Oh, I love it.
Okay, which would you say is worse, Ironheart or Secret Invasion?
You know what's crazy? I gave up on watching these shows at She-Hulk.
Not gonna lie, I wouldn't have blamed you. I would not have blamed
quit
you.
Because these shows are all the fucking same. And it always resulted in the same shit. Either they would be very, very mid, or they would be just like
homogenous as hell.
It's just horrible storytelling, boring. Like these people legitimately couldn't do superhero storytelling. It was just it was just very clear these people just can't write superhero TV. and I just wasn't gonna sit there and watch most of this shit, with these people constantly. Can you mind, people used to do watch party for the stuff. We used to stay up to like 3 o'clock in the morning to talk about this shit. And these episodes would drop, and they'll be terrible. Like some of the even like I'll say this, I liked the one that I enjoyed the most, despite all of its problems with Falcon and Winter Soldier. Even that had a lot of problems with it too. Like that wasn't really worth waking up and in the night and staying up for that when episodes drop. You know what I mean? Like this stuff is not must-see TV, and the ratings
Penguin was good though. I will. Penguin was awesome.
I do. People have said it's good. I do need to watch it, but keep in mind. But what other companies have? Warner Brothers, wrote. Oh, someone at Warner Brothers wrote that. But you see what I'm saying, right? It's just like, I just can't, for the love of God, trust. I would say the MCU with superhero TV shows. After She-Hulk, I was firmly done. I'm good.
Wait, didn't they reference and throw shade at a famous YouTuber and turn that into a whole entire plot point? Like they made a whole excuse my French for those in the comments. They made a whole slut shaming episode with She-Hulk, and I'm pretty sure they referenced a famous YouTuber verbatim, his logo and everything. I bet he got huge money off that, like for real.
Yep. There was the episode of She-Hulk where it was like the wedding episode. It was like some of the worst shit I've ever seen. And I was like, I just needed to stop watching this. I actually did the thing where people said, if you don't like it, don't watch. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm out. No. You only got to tell me twice. I'm out.
Wait, which episode? I'm curious.
It was episode 7. It was when she went to that wedding for someone, and then she
completely upstaged everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just I was sitting here watching this going like, why do I care to watch this? I don't like this. I hate every minute of it. It aggravates me. But all the shows did that. Like Loki season 1, WandaVision, ups and downs. Ralph Boner. Yeah, Ralph fucking Boner. Holy crap. Ralph fucking Boner. Falcon Winter Soldier. The villains, Flag Smashers, trash. Absolutely terrible. And certain things that Sam Wilson said, just why are you saying these things? You sound like an absolute idiot saying these things. Then what else was it? Loki season 1, boring, absolute dribble, just boring the whole time. Like I'm sitting there going like, why are we watching this? This is terrible. Then what else was there? After that was What If season 1. Actually,
What If was pretty good. Season 1.
The best I think that one, barring the bad episodes, if it had a lot more better focus on the better parts of it, I think it had the best episodes of what they're trying to do. The murder mystery one, Doctor Strange episode, the zombie one wasn't. I think that looking back on it now, I think that one had the best episodes out of.
Yeah, and that one was just a backdoor pilot for a Marvel Zombie spinoff.
Right, and what was after that? Because they're supposed to put out Miss Marvel, remember? But they moved that to 2022 because something for whatever reason.
They delayed it for whatever reason.
And then they did Hawkeye, which was okay. Yeah, just okay. Then the Kingpin shit happened, and you're like, all right.
Wait, that was that one TV show? They kind of like dropped the whole thing at one time.
Oh, that was Echo. Yeah. That was the first one they ever just dropped. They just dropped it the whole because they knew they weren't gonna watch it week to week. Yeah, that was another one too. It's like, why does Echo need a show? Why?
I appreciate the actor who played Kingpin and Daredevil coming back. But I feel like Echo only existed because they didn't want to commit to bringing Daredevil back at the time. And then Echo was so bad, like, yeah, we need to start actually spending money on this.
What was after Hawkeye? Oh, Moon Knight. Oh my god.
Moon Knight was wasted potential, man. It just fell off towards the end.
Moon Knight
started off good. It just fell off at the end.
Moon. Oh god. And then what was after that? Miss Marvel. Great quality TV we're getting here. Moon Knight, Miss Marvel back. All right. Okay. And the last, but She-Hulk after that, I was like, I'm just done. I was like, I am done. Fuck this. I am out. So basically, he was like, oh my god, no more. Yeah, I remember he said no more than 3 movies per year. He was talking about like quality doesn't beget like quality doesn't.
Quantity doesn't beget quality.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, thanks Bob for admitting. Yep, you lost focus. I agree. You guys suck ass. Now, could you suck less ass coming up? You know, we'll
Just
see
a
how it
little
goes.
bit.
Oh God. He had another one where he said, overall, I feel great about the slate. It's something that I've committed to spending more and more time on. The team is one that I have tremendous confidence in, and the IP that we're mining, including all the sequels that we're doing, is second to none. Guys, Fantastic Four barely made any money.
Wait, I thought it broke even.
It probably did. It only made like what $500 million exactly, or like 510, something
Hold
like
on,
that, right?
bear with me. I just got to look this up.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Someone had a headline in 2024 that said, "Finally, Bob Iger gets it. People want to watch good movies." The fact that that's a headline is insane. That's crazy.
520 million. 520
Yeah.
million with a budget of 117.6 million. Maybe a slight budget, but if it did profit, it was a relatively small one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oof, gosh.
Like
Fucking
because
hell.
total gross was 520 with a 117 just under 118 million budget, and it mostly performed well domestically. Its international was its domestic American audience, American box office was just under 275, and it's international, and it made just about just slightly over 260. I mean, excuse me, 246 internationally. So, yeah, I would say it made a small profit, but depending on how much marketing took,
Oh, all
and then
right.
you got to factor the reshoots. I would say best case scenario, it made a relatively small budget. I mean, small profit. God, I'm all over the place tonight.
Very good. But yeah, glad we could finally do this together because I know we haven't did this show in quite some time, and we're still gonna do it. It's just gotta evaluate it week to week because things are gonna get a little bit more dicey with my work schedule coming up. But we'll try to make this happen as often as we can. It doesn't have to be like 2 hours long. It could be just what's the show like hour 10, hour 15.
Hour 15.
Yeah, and to be fair, I know it's starting a little bit later for people here. I want to try and start at like 7:30 my time, so it's a little bit more early on YouTube. Just life's crazy, as you guys know. But I know you discuss comic book stuff on your channel too. Is there any comic book arc you're gonna be discussing on your channel? I think you did it with someone else recently. You guys were talking about Crisis on Infinite Earths, I think, at one point. Actually,
Yes,
another story arc.
That was with Nick Lenz.
Mhm.
And I reviewed Christ on Infinite Earths. I even got a Maul review coming up from Maul Shadow Lord. I was requested to do a review on that. But I was having technical difficulties, so I had to push it back. So now I'm going to rewatch the whole thing, including the finale, and then I will give my review. But whether I'll live stream it or just pre-record it, I haven't decided yet because again, I've been having technical issues. But you will get an official announcement from me in my community post. So I do want to go ahead and confirm that now.
Okay. Yeah, because comic like discussing a comic book movie or just a comic book arc from a collected edition. It's always fun. I really enjoy that. And you did one about Avengers Dissembled, I think.
Yes, I also did a review on Avengers Dissembled.
Okay. Did you like that? Actually, I know I've heard of it. So
yeah, it was a decent storyline. It was a decent storyline for what it was.
What you're basically saying is you're not rereading that anytime soon. That's what Jarrett is basically saying. Good lord.
I'll and anything you guys want to do in the comments, either comment on my videos or reach out on my community tab. I'll if you want to make a recommendation for a comic for a storyline, I don't mind going new or present. I don't mind doing that, and we just go from there. Like I want to engage with both my co-hosts, my collaborators, and my audience. So feel free to continue making requests. I don't mind.
Yeah, I want to get back more into reviewing like the arcs in the collected edition format because it's just much more easier to consume most of the stuff just through a collected edition, because it's just a lot easier to take in most of the story arc through that than just reading a single issue. But if I don't mind the single issues too. It's just it depends on how I'm feeling that week. So I know people are going to be talking about Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow more because the Supergirl movie based off the comic book is coming out very soon. So we'll see how that goes. Actually, have you ever read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow? Oh, I think he's. Oh, he's good.
Yeah, I'm here.
No, you're good. I was asking you one more thing before you head out. Did you ever read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow?
I did.
Okay, I think I can get the compact comic read before. If we do this Saturday next week, I think I can have Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow read.
Hold on, when does it come out? It comes out. It doesn't come out till June 26th, so you got time.
So you're saying I only have a few days? I'm just kidding.
Like, it just depends. Like, do you want to review both the comic and the movie at the same time, or do you want to just review the comic and then do the movie as a separate video?
Yeah, no, that the second option you said. If I'm ever gonna do this, I would like to just review the comic stuff before. That way, I kind of know in my head like what was changed and if I like the change or anything like that. Because
okay, I just want to know.
You're fine.
We'll probably save that for a later topic. We will keep y'all posted either on mine or MSK's official community.
Oh, it's crazy. No, fuck that. Next week, no comic stuff. We're talking about Dragon Ball. We never talked about Dragon Ball here. They made a lot of announcements at the Genki Dama Matsuri thing. I never got a chance to give you guys my opinion. I'm making a video about that with you next week. We're doing Dragon Ball stuff. That's what we're gonna start early.
Yep.
We're doing Dragon Ball.
We're doing it. Confirmed.
Yep. 7:30 p.m. 7 or 7:30 p.m. PC, because we can't do it that late. Dragon Ball talking fucking I get that.
Oh no, Dragon Ball's gonna every bit take all night. We have to start early.
Yeah. So pretty much around 7:30 p.m. PST. If you want to go over anything specifically regarding like the Super remake and the moral arc coming up and everything,
we'll cover all of it.
Yeah, I forgot I never had a chance to cover that stuff. I know initially I covered it before the Genki Dama Matsuri event. I was talking with King Style, but he's not here anymore to talk about Dragon Ball stuff. So, well, it's filled with you, obviously.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Oh yeah. So, coming up, you're gonna have a few streams coming up this week. And anything else you want to say before you head out?
Like, comment, subscribe. Thank y'all so much for taking the time to listen to us this late. We very much appreciate it. And flame off.
Thank you guys for checking out this episode of